Over the past year, I've been working on something super exciting. I've been renovating a 500-year-old building, turning it into my brand new state-of-the-art veterinary practice, the Chobham Vet. And I'm so excited to share with you my journey.
It is absolute carnage. There is just stuff going on everywhere.
It's been one of the biggest achievements in my life, filled with so many highs and lows, working alongside some of my closest friends.
Bring it into a friend. Oh, we've done it. Well, we haven't done it. We have a week to doing it, but at least if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
Let's just hope they do.
So this is the story behind the Chobham Vet.
When I sold my last practices, I thought never again. But I love the job so much. So I started to look around the local area to where I now live, which is in Surrey, for potential veterinary practices. The main inspiration for that was my friend Ali, because basically she wanted to have a local vet and she didn't want to have to drive all the way back in to see me at Richmond, because she also lives in this area. So she nagged me enough that it was just in my head. And just one day I was just in my office at home and I just Google searched and up popped a premises in Chobham. And Chobham is very close to where I live and I've always been enamored by it. It is just quintessentially English, absolutely beautiful. Every time I've come here, I have this warmth. The people are so friendly. It's just beautiful. There's nothing bad about Chobham whatsoever. So I thought, well, okay, I'll just go and have a look. Saw it from the front, immediately went, that looks like a vet practice, and then walked in and could see it, exactly what it was that I was looking for. So yeah, maybe a fool for diving back in, but I love running vet practices. I love being part of communities and I wanted to try something different. I've never been a vet in a village before, so this is the first.
So it came as a bit of a surprise when Scott messaged and said, oh, what are you up to? Can I pop round to yours and talk about things? No idea what it was. So he sat down, my wife, myself, and he mentioned the vet practice. It was a bit of a shock seeing sort of having just sold the other practices that he was going to go straight in on his own and set up another practice. But the way that he sort of described it to me, I could see his passion and it was something I was really keen to be involved in as well.
I remember about 11 years ago, a goofy, bald guy walked into the vet on Richmond Hill for a job as a veterinary nurse. And I remember initially I was like, oh no, like he's sort of nervous and a bit like awkward. And I thought, oh, I don't know, like, I don't know if we'll gel. But it's funny how opposites attract, and not in that way, but in a way that he's become a really trusted friend. There's been so many things that we've supported each other through as mates.
I started working with Scott over 10 years ago. So over that time, we built up a really strong sort of friendship. I'm sort of not only his friend at work, but also outside of work. It is a very close bond that we have, which is really important because we also know each other's weaknesses as well, and we can support each other in that way.
We haven't always agreed over the years, but I've tried to encourage him and his skills and his gifts. And now it's great to be able to come together for something really positive together. And I couldn't think of anyone else that I would trust more in this world to run my new veterinary practice than Nathan. So I'm very grateful.
Practice management is definitely a new sort of chapter. I've always sort of dipped my toes in a bit of management ever since starting in practice sort of over 15 years ago. And it's sort of slowly evolved into this, and now sort of full-time practice management, although still sort of dip my hands into the nursing side as well. But my job really is to sort everything out, basically. So make sure everyone's happy, lots of coffee, lots of tea, a chat if you need it, but also do the boring bits like accounts, emails, phone calls, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge, and we'll see how we get on.
The biggest challenge was definitely the building work, how much was needed, the extent of the decay, and the issues that needed to be addressed to be able to restore this beautiful building to her former glory. Nathan came on board about 3 months ago to begin sort of wrangling the beast.
When Scott first brought me to the building, I would say I was quite a visionary, but I think it was quite hard to visualize this being a vet practice. It was a complete ruin when we first came in. There was damp everywhere.
There was a massive crack in both sides of the front of the building.
There was walls that had to be taken down to fix the damp problem.
All the electrics were shot. There was no plumbing upstairs at all. The plaster was falling off the walls. There was a hole in one of the walls.
So cement everywhere as well.
Some of the beams were rotten. The roof was letting in water. The drain pipe out the front was disconnected and there was water seeping into the top of the building. It was a mess. There was a lot to fix.
Like heavy duty builder's materials everywhere.
It is absolute carnage. There is just stuff going on everywhere.
There was a lot of problems. And when you're not a surveyor, you mightn't pick these things up, and you might not think they're such a big deal until you start to dig a bit deeper or you peel the paper back. And there was a lot of issues that needed to be addressed, and that's why it's taken me over a year in the end to fully develop and restore a lot of the issues that were present here in this beautiful building and return her to her former glory, which hopefully I've managed to do.
It's amazing. Mango, what do you think? Good boy.
It was built in 1587, which is incredible. It was known back in the day as Spong's Cottage, and it was actually a farm building on a road, and there was nothing else here. There was. The church up the road was built in the 1000s, so it just shows you how old this area is, but Spong's Cottage was one of the first buildings on this road, and it just had this beautiful history to it that just sort of eked from its pores. There's beautiful old beams that have been here for nearly 500 years. But I loved it straight away. It has a lot of history and I want to make sure that's respected and protected. It is a grade 2 listed building, so you do have to be very careful about what we do, but we've managed to keep a lot of the period features and actually heighten them and restore them, but at the same time give the practice an ability to be a state-of-the-art clinical space which can perform veterinary excellence. After seeing all these problems, and initially I'm a person that just goes, oh, it'll be fine, I'm sure it won't be a big problem, we can definitely do this. And then getting some professionals in going, oh, that's going to be quite a big deal, or that's going to be a big job, or that's going to lead to a delay. Wow, they really know what they were talking about, because there was a lot of delays, a lot of expense, a lot of challenges, absolutely.
This is very exciting, but very messy at the moment, is that this is the shell of my new vet practice, which is very exciting. It's a bit of a quieter day today. It's just me here working. I'm busily taking old wallpaper off the walls. There we are. We've already had the electrics in, and you see some walls have gone up. And yes, it's very exciting. It's all happening.
So we've brought this huge team together that I've been able to trust to do the best job they can do. But it's been a lot. And there's definitely been points where I'm like, what have I done? Because there's been some real tricky bits, but I've been so lucky to have been blessed with all the tradesmen that have worked in this building for me and with me. They've been led by my mate Stu, who is a massive animal lover. I called him up and said, hey mate, look, you know, I'm thinking of doing this, can you come over? He was the first person to come to the building with me, and he just said, oh yeah, you know, it's fine, I've got some mates as well, and you know, started to introduce me to them. Every one of them has been a diamond. So we've had plasterers, we've had electricians, we've had plumbers, all the equipment engineers, carpentry, lots of carpentry with my mate Tim, who's been amazing, and his sidekick Sean. They've both been incredible. And then of course a huge amount of decorating with Cray and his team. It's been a huge labour of love.
At that bit where it feels a bit scary, because it's definitely got worse before it's going to get better. But this will be the second consult room in here. We're having some dog kennels in there, and then so let's just come upstairs. So we're just going to go upstairs here, and then we're going to have cattery in there, nice and quiet. And in there, kitchen, lab area there, and coming on through. So this is going to be the surgery in there. It's very nice. That's the prep room, and then this will be our office. So yeah, it's all coming together. So it's quite exciting, but it's a big mess.
There has been some massive renovation. None of these partition walls were here. There wasn't a consult room or a separation for a consult room. The x-ray, you know, all that had to be lead lined to make it safe for the x-ray. The surgical room, the prep room, the laboratory, cat ward, dog ward, everything. You name it, it's been built from scratch.
One thing I've got which is really exciting, it's so ridiculous, is I've got like one of those double swinging doors like out of ER. So like I feel like I can get a patient and go clear and just smash my way through the double door and have the animal on the table. So I'm very excited to have a double swinging door. There you go, simple things. So yeah, I think in the end, I've sculpted this blank canvas that was pretty tatty around the edges into a pretty gorgeous, traditional, but clinical and modern environment for us to treat animals.
It's been full on for the last 3 months. So it's been frustrating at times, really nice at other times when you see something which was a total ruin turn into something beautiful like it is now.
It just has this really nice energy now, and now I'm ready to head to the forum to do what I do best in my profession, which is to be a vet. These days, actually, it's pretty hard to pull together good vets because a lot of vets, sadly, are leaving the industry. Thankfully, when I said I was opening this practice, a lot of old mates have decided to knock on the door. So our lead vet will be Tomas, who is incredible, really smiley, and is really passionate about rescue animals. Then we have Dr. Claire Hamilton. She's actually an amazing vet who set up her own veterinary practice and then stepped away as she had her kids. And she also happens to be the wife of my best mate, Dr. Michael Hamilton, who is a specialist orthopedic surgeon. And then alongside that, we also will have a lovely friend of mine called Dr. Sophia. She's from Portugal, and she is an amazing, very committed vet, again, who loves rescue. And she also is really good at keyhole surgery. So we'll be able to do some really interesting surgeries here. And then my support team, led by the incredible Nathan. From the nursing team, we'll have Jason, who I've worked with before, who is incredible. He's from Hong Kong. He is now a qualified veterinary nurse. He's gone through the training under me and now is qualified here in the UK. And then also another registered veterinary nurse is Sam, who is Nathan's wife. Now that's a story for you because you may remember Sam from Vet on the Hill days, she was my head nurse. And Nathan was one of the nurses there as well. And there was one day when he sort of said, oh, can we go out for a beer? And I thought, oh, we're just going out as mates. And it was almost like I was Sam's dad, and he had to tell me that they had struck up a romantic relationship, which I was completely shocked about, because being me, I had no idea that was going on under my own nose. They are now married. They've got a beautiful daughter called Imogen, and I'm absolutely chuffed for them that there was this romance of nurses that has led to hopefully the next generation of veterinary nurse.
Oh, you're adorable. Yay.
This is the first time that I've set up a vet practice where I'm not going to be working at it full time. And that's going to be a little weird to let go of my baby. My work takes me abroad, and so much of it now is about advocacy and a little bit of legacy as well. I feel like after being a vet for 26 years now, that I kind of want to give back and to try and support not only vets, but also anyone that does anything to rescue animals in the world. So that does mean, unfortunately, I can't be here in beautiful Chobham all the time. When I am back in the UK, I will be here getting under everyone's feet and hopefully helping some of the beautiful animals that live here in Chobham. I've always been really passionate about rescues, particularly helping the people that run them, because they dedicate their lives. They are so committed to what they do, and they give up everything. They work every hour that God sends. They work weekends. They don't have holidays. They just don't care for themselves, really. They're too busy caring about the animals that they love. And so I want to care for them. So I've always made an effort to give them discounts and to encourage them to come and see me wherever I am. As the veterinary professions become sort of driven by finance and by investment bankers, I want to bring it back to I care, and I want to support those people who I think do amazing work. So this practice will run as a first opinion companion animal practice, so for all the lovely local people here, but they'll also help me be able to give back to the rescue community and to be able to help all animals, whether they have an owner or not.
It's really nice to be an independent vet practice, especially in a corporately dominated industry. And I think people are longing for their independent vet practice. They want that James Harriet feel again, where you can go into your village, you can see the same person that you had a pint with the other day, and that's what we want to be. We want to be that independent practice, part of the village, that someone you can say hello to, whether you're walking into your local supermarket or you're coming in to see us.
You know the vets, you know the receptionists, you know the nurses, they're part of the community, you know their animals, they know your animals. It feels like a family, a big family with fur babies included. And that's exactly what I want to manifest here. And Chobham feels ripe for it, because the community just on the high street of all the business owners are so friendly and so kind and so generous. And I just feel that that kind of practice will really fit in amongst this amazing gang of international business owners. Opening day was really exciting. Bringing the team together was great. There was a real buzz, a real energy, a real camaraderie as we come together to kind of force ourselves as vets upon the local area. And then we got to see some animals, see some patients, see some of the clients that we will be serving. So it really felt great, really a massive relief for myself and Nathan that we can finally open the doors and welcome the people of Chobham and their pets in.
First day has gone absolutely amazing. Couldn't have asked for anything else. Always in the back of my mind, you think, what have you forgotten? What have you forgotten? But actually, it all just went to plan. It was really nice to be with the team, people that I've known before. Especially nice to see my wife as well, and Imogen with the cats. Hopefully, it will just continue like this.
I felt hugely welcomed by this community. They're a great bunch, you know. I felt at home, I felt welcomed, and I think that's what Chobham is all about, and I can't wait to get started. This year's been tricky. It's been tough, if I'm honest. Tricky probably underplays it, but I always try and stay positive. You know, I have had a relationship breakdown and all the changes that are associated with that. And then on top of that, I had my autism diagnosis just a year ago, and that kind of threw my life upside down a little bit. All of those things going on, yeah, and just recalibrating your life. And people go through this all the time. I have my kids, I have my friends. I'm grateful for everything that I have. And I live my life in positivity, I think, always of the cup half full, by pursuing my dreams and the things that I love, and not forgetting who got me there. And those that got me there were animals. Because there was times when I was a youngster and I didn't have friends, and I struggled, and I didn't have a great relationship with my parents, and I reached to animals. That's what I did to gain solace and to, you know, dust myself off and get back up again. I got a fairy cuddle before I did that. And so I've always remembered that. I'm a very loyal person, and my loyalty is mainly to animals, and it will be until I die. And now being able to set this place up, despite all of those things, I suppose I am proud of myself, which is, yeah, something I didn't get told much as a kid, but I'm happy to reach back to that kid and say, actually, I'm proud of you. And yeah, that's quite nice at the age of 50. Anyway, yeah, and I hope that I can do myself proud and my kids proud as I move forward and run this practice for them. Sorry.
I'm massively proud of what we have achieved, from an old building which was never built to be a vet practice, to something we have now, which is a purpose-built vet practice in a building that is 500 years old. I think that's amazing.
Developing Spong's Cottage here in Chobham to the Chobham Vet, a state-of-the-art clinical veterinary practice, has been a journey. There's been highs, there's been lows, and I've met some incredible people who have worked on this practice and supported me, both people I know and locally, to get me to where we are now. Now I'm just so excited that the practice is open and we can get to work helping the animals of Chobham and further afield. If you like the look of the Chobham Vet, then please do subscribe to Rescue Vet on YouTube. It's a great way that you can get notifications about all the stories associated with this particular practice, and of course all the other stories that we cover, which is Ask the Vet. We do shocking rescue stories, and of course our main Rescue Vet films. But if you like what you see, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help me help more rescue animals here on Rescue Vet. Bye for now.